Karen?
I don't,
Good evening. It is time to call to order our December 10th, 2024 County Board of Education meeting. First order of business is our Pledge of Allegiance. And if you come to board meetings, I have the pleasure of just picking you out of the crowd and lead us in prayer, I'm sorry. We might need all right too. Pledge. Okay, so this evening I'd like to ask Sandy, our assistant principal at the middle school, to lead us in the pledge.
Allegiance to the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Sandy. Okay, next thing I'd like to do, and this is not on our agenda, but we had a death in the community, a gentleman that drove bus for us as a substitute for many years, was an excellent substitute bus driver. And I can remember Kane Snyder, and a lot of you guys knew Kane. I can remember Kane. I always say Kane would come in, and I say this in all love. He'd come in and tell me how to do my job. He was not shy to come in my office and say, I think this is what you need to do. But Kane drove bus for us and really did an excellent job for us. So at this time, I'd just like to have a moment of silence for Kane Snyder. Thank you. Folks, if we have somebody that passes away and they were a substitute full-time person and I miss them, please let me know, okay? Because I think we need to honor our employees. Okay, so now we're down to approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda? So moved. Okay, we do have a couple of changes on the agenda this evening. Under payment of invoices, the amount that we'll do first is $239,173.47. That would be the first motion. Okay, and then we have a board member that has some money or some payment or payback for travel on it. So next one will be for $91.12. And during that time, that board member will recuse himself so we can vote on that. Okay, under employment, any questions about that? Under employment, I'm going to move number 3 to number 1. And the reason for that is that I need to recuse myself on that. So Mr. Sherlock will take care of that motion, and then I'll come back and we'll do the rest of it. Any questions on that? And then under number 4, it should say Randy Williams High School Special Education Teacher, Work County High School, effective the 25-26 school year or upon release from contract. She's in a contract in another county and needs to be released from that contract before she can come here. Any questions about the changes on the agenda? Hearing none, we have a motion. Let me turn my speaker on, huh? I'm probably talking loud enough anyway. We have the agenda as presented with the changes. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, first order of business under information is the oath of office for our new board member, Luke Moore. The oath will be administered by Sherry Matheny. Luke, if you want to stand. Family. I saw family. Come on up. Rebecca, you going to get pictures? Okay. Yeah. Might be easier. Just don't turn this way. I don't want him in the picture.
there you go. Put him right in front of his desk. That's a good place for him.
You're going back up a little bit.
No stay. They have to do those.
Raise your right hand.
solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution of the United States
I will support the Constitution of the United States,
and the Constitution of the State of West Virginia,
the Constitution of the State of West Virginia.
that I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
I will faithfully and impartially discharge the duties
of member of the Worth County Board of Education
of member of the Worth County Board of Education
to the best of my skill
to the best of my skill
and judgment
and judgment
during my continuance in same,
during my continuance in same,
so help me God.
so help me God.
Yeah. He stayed right there, didn't he?
Wrong one. Yeah, it's cute.
Welcome, Luke.
Welcome. Oh, goodness.
Hey, guys, that's why we do it, okay? That's why we do it. Okay, next is discuss questions for a community survey regarding future requests for a bond to build a new high school with track and baseball and softball fields. So this is something that I'd asked Mr. McCowan to put on the agenda from now until we actually put the survey out. So we wanted to keep it in the forefront, okay? So I say again to our people out there in Cyberland that if you have questions, please, or if you have a question you think would be good to put on a survey, we ask that you send that in to Mr. McCowan. I've got a couple board members. If you have any questions you want to talk about some now, it'd be good. If not, if you have something, bring it to Mr. McCowan. And we're going, probably that second meeting in January, we'll actually start and get those questions fleshed out. Board members, any comments, please feel free. Okay, now anything, Mr. McCowan, on that?
So eventually, when we get the survey together and start that route, we're going to have to put together an advertisement to seek pre-bond services with somebody to help us through this process.
Right. And there was I did want to make a correction. In the county paper, it said that the most that we could spend was $14 million, most SBA, and that sort of got balled up, and that's not true. The most that we can float a bond for is $14 million. We might get $20 million from the SBA, or we might get $5 from the SBA. But that's how much that we can float a bond for, is $14 million in the county. So that's not the top figure that we will have to work with. It might be, but it might not be. But when I read that, I thought, that sort of people would say there's no way you could build a high school for $14 million, and there is no way you could build a high school for $14 million. Okay, so we're down to C, monthly attendance narrative. Mr. Smith.
McCown, thank you, Mr. Metz. Okay. Since the beginning of the 24-25 school year, 88 5-day unexcused absence letters were sent to student households. A juvenile truancy petition hearing took place before Judge Waters in Wood County Circuit Court on November 12th. The Worth County Schools year-to-date attendance as of 12/5 was primary center was at 94.1, middle school was at 91.3, high school was at 90.2, and district-wide was at 92.3. The average attendance by school and district as of December 5th, primary center was at 94.1, middle school was at 91.7, high school was at 92.5, and district-wide was at 92.5 as well. District enrollment by school and district was as followed. Primary center was at 335, middle school at 258, high school at 268, for a total district-wide of 861. Enrollment compared to the November narrative, enrollment decreased district-wide by 1 student. Primary center enrollment increased by 5. Middle school enrollment stayed the same, and high school enrollment decreased by 4 students. The enrollment by grade as of 12/5 was pre-K 67, kindergarten 47, first grade 56, second grade 46, third grade 56, fourth grade 63. At the middle school level, fifth grade was at 59, sixth grade at 56, seventh grade at 67, and eighth grade at 76. And lastly, at the high school, ninth grade was at 67, 10th grade was at 61, 11th grade was at 70, and 12th grade also was at 70. Does anyone have any questions or concerns or want to review or discuss any of that information?
Any questions from Mr. Smith?
No.
Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
Okay, we're down to D, Warwick County High School's academic data and 24-25 school goals. And we have Mrs. Smith this time. Anything you want to start with?
So we've had
County?
all of the schools here to talk about their goals for this year and their current academic data. And I don't know if Dottie drew the long straw or the short straw, but she is last and with us this evening to share that out.
Well, we were the last to receive data.
True.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dottie.
I get so nervous when I get up here. Okay, with that being said, I was just telling Gail a few minutes ago, I said the high school is so different than the other 2 schools when it comes to compiling the data because we only have one grade level really for accountability, and that's our 11th grade. But I have compiled data for all grades so that you guys can see what we're doing to help prepare our students for that 11th grade accountability. So I got a fancy clicker here. So I made a handout for you so you can follow along. Tonight I'll share with you my goals, our benchmark 1 data, strategies that we're using, and entertain any questions you may have. Just a little bit about Warwick County High School, since we have a new board member. We have 25 professional staff members. Our attendance when I pulled it was 90.01, and we are down to 267 students as of today. It's been lower, but I would like for our number to be a little higher, but we take what we get here. Okay, my first goal is a leadership development goal, and it is on improving student attendance. And you may ask, well, why does she have an attendance goal? My theory is if they're at school, then they're learning. So it's important that students are there. My description is that there will be a 2% increase in yearly wide attendance for Warwick County High School, comparing 23-24 with 24-25 yearly attendance up through April of 2025. Through effective implementation of a PBIS program and other administrative means, we believe we can significantly improve student attendance at our school. Some of the measures that we plan on utilizing is our WEVIS attendance reports comparing average school-wide attendance from 23 to 24 to 24 through 25 through April. Some of the other things that we do to help with our data is we do post daily attendance in our hallways. It is announced, and we offer daily pop-up rewards. So just to kind of give you some data here. In 2022-23, our end result for our school-wide attendance was 89.5%, which is not acceptable. 23-24, we focused PBIS, some of our other strategies such as our pro officer and our CIS with attendance goals, and you can see our attendance overall did increase to 91.55% for the year. Currently, as of yesterday, our school attendance was 90.01. Today, our attendance was right at 93%. So we look at this point mostly on day to day. The state implemented their new policy where if you're not in a seat, you're absent regardless of the reason. So this has impacted a lot of our students and families because some of them like to wait until October, November, December to take trips. And used to be they could get educational leave for that if it was so deemed and did not count against a student for unexcused absences. Like I said, this year in September, the state implemented, if you're not in a seat, you're absent. Something that I don't have on any of the slides, and this is just for information, is our graduation rate, which again plays into our accountability. Our 4-year for last year cohort was 92.57%, and our 5-year graduation cohort was 92.53%. Some of the strategies that we are utilizing to achieve some of our goals here, dealing with attendance, is our learning environments. If we keep school engaging, keeps our students engaged, then they're going to want to be here. Making connections with our students. Our staff members utilize time on PL and Faculty Senate days to write notes to students, and we mail those home. Like I said, we do pop-up rewards. We have our daily and weekly board. We have social media posts regarding attendance. And we also utilize those CIS supports, which we have been recognizing most improved attendance at our midterms and then again at the end of the 9 weeks. Some of our accountability measures, we have our state mandates that I talked about. Like I said, we are making those connections with critical conversations, not only in the office, but our teachers are having those conversations as well. We have Mrs. Starkey with attendance probation. We are checking teachers to make sure that proper attendance is being taken at every class period. We have report outs for monthly attendance or every 45 days for our PL and Faculty Senate. We do a report out at our LSICs. Our PBIS also has attendance as a goal. And then we also have report outs at our Tier 2 and Tier 3 meetings. So it's in their face all of the time. So in October, we administered Benchmark 1 to students in grades 9, 10, and 11. That included the PSAT for 8th or 9th graders and the NMSQT for 10th and 11th graders. And this is all in the suite of assessments for the SAT. As you can see, over the past few years, we've had our ups and our downs. If you look at 21, 22 data, you'll see that we were on an increase that year, which is to me surprising because that was post-COVID. If you look at 22, 23, our ELA and our math scores did drop. Our science scores went up. And with this suite of assessments, the students do not take a subtest for science. It is combined within their ELA and their math, and that's how they come up with their science score. Last year, our ELA did come up. Our math went down by 2 points, and our science scores went down by 5 points. So some of the things that we are doing with science is incorporating more vocabulary. When I say that science is incorporated into the other topics, it could be that they have a passage in English that is a science problem or science related, and the vocabulary associated with it could be science knowledge. Same way with math.
Hey, Donnie, could you tell me what the numbers for the most current year is? I can't read them from across here.
For ELA, it is 43. For math, it's 13 or 12, and for science, it's 20.
And the year.
Year before that?
Yeah, the year before that.
The year before that, ELA was 42, math was 14, and science was 25.
Thank you.
Okay, that takes us to our second student learning goal. This is 11th grade mathematics and ELA proficiency. We go into this looking at growth. What is it that our students are doing? Are they growing within the content? So growth is number one, and then we look at proficiency. During the 24-25 school year, on average, Wirt County High School 11th graders, because remember 11th grade is our accountability year, will improve their mathematics and ELA scores by at least 3% from benchmark 1 and benchmark 2, which for our 11th graders will be the actual SAT of the SAT assessments. Measures for our PSAT benchmark 1 results from October and the SAT results in the spring. So with this, since we are taking this suite of assessments, we are starting to be able to compile from 23 to 24, 24 to 25 to see, are we droning down enough within these topics to see actual growth within what the teachers are doing in the classrooms? Are the content standards being achieved? So the baseline data, again, will be the PSAT benchmarks that we give in October. And then this information will hopefully be able to show our teachers, okay, this is what we need to drill down between now and the SAT. So one of the activities for our PL Day next week is they just released our data. So the teachers will break up into their teams, and by teams, like everyone who teaches 9th grade, because I'm not lucky enough to have 4 content teachers for each subject. So I might have 2 teachers that teach 9th and 10th grade English or 10th and 11th grade English. So I try to split them up by which topics they have the most courses in. But they will do a deep dive into which areas of their content standards the students did not do well on these benchmarks in.
I think do all students take the PSAT and the SAT, or are there some students that are exempt from that?
We only have 2 students in our school that are exempt from it, but they take another form of assessment.
And would that other form of assessment be factored in there, or are we only looking
No.
at?
No.
Okay, so
No.
we can exclude those 2 from this data set?
Yes, they do not get included on this portion of it.
They take an alternate assessment.
Yeah. It's called DLM.
Okay.
I keep forgetting to move here. So this is our 9th grade results, and I know this is hard to see, but I made it as big as I could, and that's why I tried to give you handouts, but maybe I should have made you big pieces, because I'm even having a hard time seeing this right here. But basically, that first line for our 9th grade PSAT benchmark scores, what you will see is it has the school number of testers. We tested 60 students. The first little solid black line is students who met both benchmarks. The next box over that has one black line is, these are students who met one benchmark. And then the next box over, which is kind of shaded, is students who met no benchmarks. So if you look at our school, and this is overall, we had 13% of our 60 students who met both benchmarks in the 9th grade. 16.2 students, or 27%, met one benchmark, and 36 of those students met neither. So we know that we have that 27% and that 60% that we're going to have to do a deep dive in to see what is it did they miss. Then I split it down just by math, and our school, out of those 60, had 15% who met the standards for math. 5%, or I'm sorry, that 15% was both math and ELA. 5% met only math of the 60, and 48% met neither, did not meet the math for the PSAT in 9th grade. If you look down through the third row, this is the state for public schools only, just to show you a comparison. It says that 16% of the state met the benchmark for math, 7%, or 16% met both math and ELA, 7% met only math, 77% of the state did not meet the benchmark for math across the state when they took the PSAT this fall.
And by the benchmark, is that where they should be in 9th grade, or where they should be before they take the SAT for college prep?
Before they take the SAT.
Okay. So when we're saying that we're saying that that percentage didn't make it, we don't expect a large amount to make it 9th grade. They should be making that their junior year.
Yes.
Is that correct?
And the goal is to, when I approached Mr. McCown about our school, because these tests are not free, but it gives us good data. It allows us, like I said, to drill down by topic, by student, by grade level, and it's really a helpful tool for our teachers. This will show the students, we can get growth reports, based on what they did in 9th grade, with where they are currently, what the projected score will be for the SAT, if they continue where they,
Meet that growth rate.
to meet that growth rate.
Okay.
So that's why I said I'm pretty impressed with what they can do with this. And it's not just about this. We have kids who, just last year, we had 2 Wirt County High School seniors who qualified for the National Merit Scholarships based off of their test in the 10th grade and the 11th grade. And if they would have went to WVU, that was who was honoring the scholarships, they could have had a full ride. So, this has money tied to it as well for our students. Does that say math? Okay. So this is our ELA for 9th graders, and 38% of them, according to this, scored really well on the PSAT. 6 of our students that took the PSAT here in the fall only met the ELA benchmark, and 31.2 of our students did not meet the English at all. So English comes to these students, evidently. Our 10th grade results, and this is overall, and like I said, I know this is hard to see, but as a school, 9% of our students in 10th grade, which we had 58 take the benchmark, 9% of them met both benchmarks, 38% of them met one, and 53% of them met neither. Under math, 10% of our 58, which equivalates to 5.8, met the math benchmark. 4.06 of them, or I'm sorry, I always get this backwards, 5.8 of them met both. 4 of our students met only math. 48 of our students met neither. For ELA, 45% of our students, you see, we're right there at the top. 16% of them only met one, and 23.2 of our students did not reach the benchmark. Okay. So our 11th graders have some work to do. 9% of them, which equivalates to 6 students, of these 64 met both math and English benchmarks. 19 of the students met one, and 39 of them did not meet either. When they get into the 11th grade, one of the things that we've found is we have to go back and recoup their Algebra 1 skills, because most of them are in higher level math at this point. They forget their basics in Algebra 1. And by that I mean vocabulary, everything, because they're not using it. They've moved on to higher things. So that's one of their focuses. In just math, again, like you, I can't see that. I think the most important piece here is that 39 of the 64 students did not meet the benchmark. In our ELA, 23 of our students met the benchmark. Of those 23, 10.2 met just the English, but 30.72 students, or 31 students, met neither math nor ELA. So how can we be better? Again, instead of killing the staff with kindness, I kill them with data at our meetings. Data, again, is utilized in PLCs and Faculty Senate and PL days. We utilize the data and the information and how it relates to what our teachers are teaching for the SAT school day. We look at our 8th grade summative reports that come in so that we can meet our incoming 9th graders where they are. We are constantly looking at their grades, whether that be midterms, missing assignments. It all plays a factor. For students who are not only not meeting the benchmark here, but are also not meeting the requirements in the classrooms, they are invited to summer school. We utilize Options Pathway. Jason's already had 2 students who have already completed the program this year. We're not even at the end of first semester. And again, we focus on attendance. And when we get our students there, get them engaged, our behavior also is better. What are we doing to achieve our goals? Some of the strategies. When we are doing our walkthroughs for accountability, we are checking to see are the teachers working bell to bell? Are they using I can statements? Can the students tell us what it is they're supposed to be learning that day? Are they on target with what they're saying they are on target with in the classroom with their pacing guides? We look at instructional strategies, their materials. We look at the learning environment. We look at student engagement. And then again, we look at connections. What kind of connections does that teacher have with the students? And you can see on the right-hand side, our accountability, we use EWOC, and we're checking again for the college and career readiness standards or their skill sets, the essential question or I can statement, the learning goals, how will instruction be delivered, and we look at assessment.
When you said, could you back for a second?
Yeah.
So on target, is that essentially asking the students what did you learn today? What did we cover? What is the on target?
When I'm talking about on target here for strategies, our teachers at the high school submit a pacing guide and they do lesson plans. Are they on target for where they need to be in order to cover the standards effectively by the end of the unit, the end of the end of the semester, or what it is they're saying is the ending point at that time?
And the I can questions?
It's basically when the student completes this lesson, they should be able to do this. You know, whether that be synthesizing something, or they should be able to construct something and be able to have the terminology or the vocabulary to explain to you what it is they're doing and why they did it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. What are we doing to achieve our goals? PBIS is playing a big part in changing the culture here at the high school. We are doing attendance initiatives at midterm and the end of the 9 weeks. We do have a speaker system set up that runs not only in here, but it also is outside in the patio. We allow the students to pick a playlist that's been predetermined. And they get to choose music at lunchtime. They like it. And our life school points. Our students like to earn their life school points to get rewards, to buy coupons, to skip DG for a day, to get cookies, an hour-long lunch. We have all kinds of things on our PBIS reward menu. We have, like I said, reward trips. Our teachers do positive notes and affirmations to our students and other staff members, and we're making learning fun. One of the things that we've also incorporated into DG, which is our developmental guidance time, we have 30 minutes a day. We have incorporated onto college, which again is helping support the strategies and skills needed for not only the SAT, but for career readiness as well. Positive Action is also utilized, which is a program. We have grade level competitions, and then we have Links, which is basically a developmental guidance program that helps focus on some of the teen issues that we face. This month of December has been on relationships and their love languages. And you may think, well, what's a love language? But like my love language, you know, one of them is I like to be a touchy person. And by that, I mean, I like to, if you have something on that looks soft, I might say, ooh, can I feel your shirt today? That looks nice on you. But that's my love language. That's letting, you know, that person know that, you know, I see them, I hear them. And at the same time, I am, if they tell me, no, you can't rub my shirt, that's okay. I'm giving them their space. I'm hearing them. So that's one of my love languages. It's also a place where we address things such as bullying. We do life skills all next semester when we start out from school, when we return in January. Some of the things that we will be focusing on is life skills and strategies, how to change a tire, basic things, how to sew on a button. We have no place in our curriculum for our students to learn this now. So this is where we're going to incorporate it. And finally, again, we want our kids to come away with learning so that, you know, whatever they choose to do in life, they can be successful. Any questions?
We just talked about the math, especially with algebra. How do they space as far as going from algebra 1 to algebra 2? Is there a year difference or?
Yes. Most generally, the trajectory is you do algebra 1, then geometry, then algebra 2, and then if you're going to do any college math or anything upper level math or a transitional math. This year we started offering financial algebra, but of course we don't have a teacher. But We are revamping Algebra 1 for second semester because what we are doing is not working. We will have a virtual live teacher 5 days a week in the classroom to go with the facilitator. Because right now our students are not learning, they are not learning Algebra 1. And that's through no fault of our facilitator that we have in that class. They just have no live instruction. Mr. McCown has tried to help supplement by doing sample problems and recording those and giving those to the students. But our students like that real person.
Some kids can do that and some can't.
Right. We have some that are making A's and we have some who have just quit because math is a mental block for them anyway. They think they can't do math. So I'm hoping second semester we can get those students caught up and teach them some Algebra 1.
Is that a state mandate to have the classes separated like that? Like from Algebra 1 freshmen, I mean, when I went through, it was like geometry, Algebra 1, Algebra 2, and then trig or whatever you wanted. Because you knew, it's not a whole year since you had algebra. And I can see where there could be, is that a mandate to have it that way? Or?
I don't know. I would have to look at that. I just know since I've been here,
It's the sequence.
that's been the sequence.
Right, yeah, I understand. I just, you're out of there for a whole year, and I can see where you could have problems.
Right.
But I think there's some of that content of geometry that you have to have before you can do the Algebra 2.
Yeah.
So if you don't have the geometry in between, then there's content in Algebra 2 that you won't be ready for. That was always my understanding.
Yeah.
Because
Well, if you had
it makes
geometry
sense.
first, yeah,
Yeah.
but you still have the
Yeah.
But anyway, that's just,
Something worth looking
just
at.
curious. Yeah,
Mhm. Anything else?
It is the state sequence, but I don't know if that sequence is mandated or
Right.
not. It's not a, yeah.
Because once you get past a certain point, then you can choose, if you're going into like the trades, you may not need calculus. You may want to go to that transitional math because it's more application and hands-on things that you might use within the trades.
Well, on the flip side of that, we have had some students that took plane geometry and Algebra 2 both their sophomore year so that they could get to calculus by their senior year too.
Mrs. Smith, can you send this to Mrs. Matheny and then she can forward it on to us so we can actually see the numbers there?
Yes,
Okay.
I will do that.
That's good.
Thank you, Dottie.
Any other questions for Mrs. Smith? Thank you, Mrs. Smith. Excellent presentation. Okay, we have no delegations this evening, so we're down to the agenda. We'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the November 12th, 2024 regular meeting.
So moved.
Any corrections, questions, comments? Hear none, we have a motion to approve the minutes of the regular meeting of November 12th, 2024. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve the payment of invoices in the amount of $239,173.47.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
Okay, we have 5 runs of expenditures for your consideration and approval this evening. The first on 11/15/2024, totaling $18,270.83. Noteworthy in this, we have some washer and dryers. We have the town of Elizabeth for water and sewer. Also on 11/15/2024, totaling $71,273.96. Noteworthy on this, we have the P card for Gordon Foods for $61,000, and we have Harris Oil for $5,676 for diesel fuel. The next run on 12/2 totals $74,271.12. Noteworthy in this, we have Crook Brothers Fresh Produce, Comax for Promethean boards and copy rental, Mon Power for the high school electric, and then we have Schoology software renewal. The next run on 12/3/2024 totals $71,771.66. Noteworthy on this, we have Amazon for instructional materials and custodial supplies. We have Work County Health Services for counseling services, and we have West Virginia Board of Risk for our quarterly billing and liability insurance premiums. Then finally, on 12/3/2024, in the amount of $3,677.02, we have PEIA retiree premium billings. And Mrs. Cummings is here with the big basket overflowing with invoices if you would have any specific questions.
Any specific questions or comments on the invoices? Here none, we have a motion to approve the payment of the invoices in the amount of $239,173.47. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, we have one more invoice, and we have Mr. Moore will need to verbalize that he's going to recuse himself. You have to actually go outside of the room. They're very specific about that. Okay, so our next invoice is for Luke Moore for travel in the amount of $91.12. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Any questions, comments? Here none. We have a motion to approve the invoice for Luke Moore for $91.12. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Hopefully it didn't go too far. Okay, down to budget supplements. Need a motion to approve the budget supplements in the amount of $152,183.
So moved.
Mr. McCowan.
So several budget supplements for your consideration this evening. The first in the amount of $129,593. This is a federal and state vocational funding grant. Next, for $2750, a WVDE grant to cover legal fees for the federal interest paperwork. Next, in the amount of $11,787, this is a WVDE grant for early literacy. Note this next one is in parentheses and bad in the amount of $23,266, a decrease in our special education funding. And then finally, for $31,319, this is a federal Title V allocation for instructional and parent engagement activities. All these total to $152,183.
Any questions, comments? Here are none. We have a motion to approve the budget supplements in the amount of $152,000. I'm sorry, let me start again. $152,183. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve budget transfers in the amount of $130,363.70.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
Okay, two budget transfers for your consideration this evening. The first in the amount of $25,853.27. This is a transfer of vocational carryover to approved areas. And then finally, in the amount of $104,510.43. This is a transfer of special education grants to WVDE approved activities.
Any questions, comments? Here are none. We have a motion to approve budget transfers in the amount of $130,363.70. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Go down to personnel matters. Resignations of leave of absences. Need a motion to approve the resignation of James Galloway, assistant track coach at Work County High School, effective November 6, 2024.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So his letter was in your packet. I'd like to thank him for his 11 years of coaching that for us. He's done an excellent job, and thank him for the coaching years that he's put in.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the resignation of James Galloway as assistant track coach, Worth County High School, effective November 6, 2024. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. And the motion to approve the resignation of Malia Taylor Hardbarger, head cheerleading coach, Worth County High School, effective November 15th, 2024.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
Yeah, nothing to add. Her letter was in your packet.
Okay. Any questions, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the resignation of Malia Taylor Hardbarger, head cheerleading coach at Worth County High School, effective November 15th, 2024. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Need a motion to approve the the maternity leave at Gabrielle Beck, Worth County Primary Center, December 2nd, 2024 through the end of the 24-25 school year.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
Yeah, so her letter was in your packet, and I believe on November 30th, I think November
Yeah, somewhere
30th, so it
through
was
there.
my birthday, I think she had a baby boy. So
Good deal.
Congratulations to Gabby.
Any questions, comments? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve the maternity leave for Gabrielle Beck at Worth County Primary Center from December 2nd, 2024 through the end of the 24-25 school year. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, down to employment. And as I stated, we're going to move number 3 to number 1, and I'm going to recuse myself for personal reasons.
Mr. Shearlock, if you would give me just a moment to find where I'm at in the packet.
All right.
Okay, sir, I'm good.
Motion for employment for Rebecca Miller, clinical teacher of record, special education teacher, itinerant, predominantly at WCPC, effective on completion of required paperwork.
So moved.
Okay, so Rebecca Miller is currently doing her student teaching. She's about to finish up the first half of it at Worth County Middle School and is on deck to complete the second half of that in a special education placement at Worth County Primary Center. And we just happen to have an unfilled vacancy there in a special ed position. So it gives us an opportunity to do something that's called a clinical teacher of record. It allows her to complete the requirements for her student teaching through WVUP while filling that vacancy at the same time with us. And then at the end of her student teaching, she would have an opportunity to bid on that position and possibly fill it full time.
Any questions or discussion? No? So we have, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes.
Okay, so at this time, I will need a motion to approve the employment of Dustin Holber as substitute bus operator pending completion of the certification and background check for the 24-25 school year. And it says that twice, but that's why I need a motion for.
So moved.
Mr. McCown.
So his application was in your packet. I think we've got a couple folks who are about ready to start this process, and hopefully it is a long and drawn-out process to go through the bus driver certification. So I'm happy to get some folks started in that and hopefully get to completion and get on our sub list.
Any questions?
Yeah, Mr. McCown, approximately how long does it take someone to complete all that before they can actually drive with students?
Mr. Smith, I'm going to defer to you.
Answer that question, it varies. The quickest I've saw anybody go from start to finish was like 2.5 months, and that was cramming it in and everything fell correctly. But it could take others up to 6 to 9 months, especially if they have another job or something that interferes where they have to accommodate and such. But I would say on average, 6 to 8 months on average, probably from the start to finish. But there's some that do it a little quicker if everything falls right. So.
I've got a question or two. Do they have the opportunity to drive a bus when they're doing the training?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's
Okay.
part of, you do, excuse me, you do 40 hours in the daylight behind the wheel minimum, 12 hours after dark. And then we also do a job shadowing program once they're officially passed all the certifications. They go through 2 types of testing before they ever get certified as a sub. But yeah, they have plenty of behind the wheel training. Plus they do 40 hours computer work and preparation and have to go through the various processes. Like you have to get your CDL's learner's permit. Then you have to take the behind the wheel testing. Then you have 2 more tests, the certification and the performance exam. There's 2 more after that. So there's a lot of stuff to go through.
See why it takes so long.
Yes, you have to really want to do it, Brent, to answer your question. Yes. Yeah.
Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
Okay, we have a motion to approve Dustin Holbert as substitute bus operator pending the completion of the certification background check for the 24-25 school year. All in favor say aye. Aye, opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve Jackie Bunch, special education teacher, Worth County Middle School, Worth County High School, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. Mr. McCown.
So I'm very pleased to bring Jackie Bunch to you. She has been working very hard on an alternative pathway to certification, and she's been a substitute teacher and a secretary in the school system, but a substitute taught for us for many years. And she's worked very hard to get on permit, working on her alternative pathway to fill this position. So I'm tickled for her and happy to bring her name to you for your consideration tonight.
Any questions? Here none. We have a motion to approve Jackie Bunch, special education teacher, Worth County Middle School, Worth County High School, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. We are number 4. Need a motion to approve Randy Williams, high school special education teacher, Worth County High School, effective for the 25-26 school year or upon release from her contract. Mr. McCown.
So as you're aware, we've had this recent special ed position at the high school, and you've authorized it, and we've posted it, and we've had to sub it out because we've had no takers. This person is a fully certified teacher that's currently teaching in Rome County schools, is the successful bidder for this, but we're all struggling for subs, so it's not likely that Rome County will release her out of her contract until next year unless they were to post it and fill it. So, but happy to fill this position.
Any questions? Here none. We have a motion to approve Randy Williams, high school special education teacher, Worth County High School, effective for the 25-26 school year or upon release from her contract. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Okay, need a motion to approve Eric Gee, substitute cook for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Mr. McCown?
Happy to get substitute anything on the books. So we've got some cooks and we've got some aides. Happy to add some names to the rolls.
Any questions? Here none, we have a motion to approve Eric Gee as substitute cook 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of the required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Need a motion to approve Malia Hardbarger, substitute A for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of her required paperwork.
So moved.
And I'm assuming same thing.
Same thing.
Anything you,
Nothing
none
to
to
add.
add? Okay. Any questions? Hearing none, we have a motion to approve Malia Harbarger, substitute aide, 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Need a motion to approve Brittany Stanley, substitute aide for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of the required paperwork.
So moved.
Anything we need to know, Mr. McCown?
Nope.
Any questions? Hear none. We have a motion to approve Brittany Stanley as substitute aide for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of her required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. And need a motion to approve Haley Exline, substitute aide for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of her required paperwork.
So moved.
Same deal.
Same deal.
Questions? Hear none. We have a motion to approve Haley Exline, substitute aide for 24-25 school year, effective upon completion of required paperwork. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. And we are glad. We went through those pretty fast, but we're glad to have those people. Okay, down to new business. At this time, I'm going to move, if it's okay with the board members, we're going to move E to the beginning of new business. Do I have anybody that stands opposed to that? No? Okay, so at this time, I'll make a motion that we enter into executive session to hold a student disciplinary hearing under 69A-4, exemption 3. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed say nay. Ayes have it. Folks, we're in executive session.